be asokii as well.
Either way, only one can move forward on winner's side. Reminder to everybody who's watching and listening, this is a double elimination bracket. You don't see that often at cons, but it's great that we have that today. This is like the way to play a bracket. I will always say that.
More chances to play, you can see more it's about. Because like sometimes if you just play one game, it's just like, well, I don't know if I really learned anything, right?
Yeah.
You can have that discouraging feel, but more games gives you the opportunity.
Or you run into like that one player that you just don't know how to deal with.
You play some casuals in the back.
How many times have you seen a top player who loses in like round 2-3 pools and then they make it to grand finals because they're just that good and they got knowledge checked by someone? And it's just like, it's the nature of the game. Having that double elimination makes a huge difference.
Right, right. It makes it also, it turns like if you have to play more games, you might have to think about your game plan in the long run, right? The long con.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got the Ken and the Manon, like you said, going to be, it's a very interesting matchup for Ken because he wants to get in, but that's where Manon wants him to be. So how does he balance that?
And we'll see if Wimp is very versed in terms of just checking the drive rush. It can be difficult because you have such amazing buttons like Standing Fierce to complement the drive rush, and when you start respecting that, then he starts throwing, and you start getting looped, right? It all just kind of snowballs into effect. And both of those characters can definitely do that in their own respective ways, but Ken definitely can do it just a little, like, I don't know, actually much better.
I do suspect we're going to see Ken trying to sit, asokii trying to sit at a mid-range in this matchup because Manon does not have a lot of cancelable normals at long range.
All right, we're already seeing the recognition from Wimp. Getting a medal on the board, wasting no time, right?
That's huge. That early momentum. Good parry, however, from asokii trying to answer back a little bit. Massively scaled damage, but look at that corner carry.
Okay, and one thing you'll see from Wimp is that their ground game is very good, so it might be a little hard for asokii to contest, but there it goes. Jinrai kicks. Probably their drink of choice I've been seeing in this tournament.
I mean, for good reason. It's a good move.
Okay, and we're spending that meter. Wimp is making sure to get the damage, and another medal on deck.
This is looking pretty good for Wimplo so far. We got 3 medals, and we're not even done the first round. At this point, if you're Wimplo, it's like, all right, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to get that number 5 before we can even get things started.
Locked in. Asokii is looking locked in right now. Has Wimplo in the corner. One more Gesture game.
Burnout in the corner again. Oh, wait.
It's going to be so huge. Oh, the drop. A little bit of nerves, man.
That's so unfortunate for Wimplo. Now you have to do it all over again. Can you get that final grab? That will be enough if you can find it.
They play neutral one more time. Backing off, I like it. Wimplo being very patient, being very methodical.
Ooh, what's the high-low? He goes low, and asokii barely manages to claw that back after a raw DP that looked like it was going to be curtains.
Yeah, asokii was very good at forcing the situation into strike throw at the end there. And that's what's going to win you games.
Yeah, absolutely. But now Wimplo got those 3 medals. asokii has to be really careful.
Fireball gun. I love the use of Fireball into Drive Rush. It's just like you control so much of this real estate, right?
There's the low from Wimplo. That's a mix-up that he can only afford to use so often. Unfortunately, not able to get too much off of it as asokii continues to hold this life lead. But as I say
what a whiff punish.
That's all it takes, and you are even.
Wake up, crouching meme kick, the
level
classic.
3?
Asoki's going to go into level 3, and that's going to be it. asokii going to get 1 on the board. Unfortunately, which means no more medals, no more meter.
I miss the days when Ken players weren't quite as consistent with those combos, and whenever they went for that level 3 on the side switch, is it going to hit? We don't know. You're going to find out.
I mean, that is the word, though, consistency, right? And that's what Ken definitely has over Manon, right, in terms of just character, right?
Manon has to work so hard to get in, and even when she does get in, it's just to help her build a resource. And now we see, Wimplo trying so hard to just patiently, I love that mix-up.
Okay, we'll see. Potentially a download is in the works. Use some of that knowledge from the first one.
Or maybe Wimplo's just a round 1 kind of player. Either way, we're going to find out shortly as Wimplo continues to go in, but gets raw DP'd on the wake-up.
asokii calling out the Oki is like, you know what? I don't believe in it, right?
Yeah,
it's fake.
Absolutely.
We made it up.
There's another grab. That's huge for Wimplo. Again, just building this resource like we talked about for those later rounds. But we also saw that once he got to about 3 last time, asokii figured out what was going on.
Yeah, a little bit late on the anti-air from asokii, which means Wimplo is going to be taking that using all the medals in tow as well. Now you have 4 medals going to the next round. This is looking on the up for Wimplo.
I've always loved how all those throws are different depending on how many medals you have.
It's so stylish.
And then, of course, that level 5 where you have to be so careful. Going for the strike throw mix, Wicklow manages to get a couple of hits off, but not too much out of it.
Great delay tech come up from Wimplo after Dragon Lash too. Some matchup knowledge is definitely coming out from Wimplo.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen a lot of super hard committal stuff for Wimplo, and I think that's that consistency thing you were talking about. If you make the wrong read there, Asokii will blow you up for it.
Exactly. Okay, overhead. This is the time when you don't panic, right?
Great parry!
Awesome stuff.
Oh, that was so good.
Now we got 5 medals here. It can only take a few throws, but like I said, the fear of the throw is a little more mightier, right?
Do not get grabbed, Asokii. This is your mission, should you choose to accept.
Oh my God, we're going down, baby.
He did not accept the mission. Asokii down 1 grab away from defeat on this game, and
it is. Drive Rush Command Grab 2. The fear.
The fear.
Like, there were so many times where, like, I think Asokii had a chance to check, but, you know, when you start giving that respect, it makes Manon stronger.
Yeah, you get to that point where you're like, well, he's going to expect me to be jumping to try to get away from his command grabs or whatever. And so Wimplo is like, well, what if I just keep grabbing you like that? We're going to see it again? I was so ready for another one.
Yeah, and Wimplo's doing a great job of, when they find a drive rush scenario, they use the crouch and meat punch to enforce plus frames and gain that respect from Asokii, but Asokii is still retaliating back.
Watch that drive gauge, Wimplo. It's getting awfully low. You have to be so careful. You do not want to be burned out against Asokii right now. Another raw one, and you are going to pay for it.
Oh, and check out the execution, ending in a medal as well. The most optimal stuff you can see.
That was nice. And now another, this is what, the 3rd time in a row where we've had 3 medals on the first round?
But now you're in burnout, which means gives free reign for Asokii to kind of just keep pressuring. Wake up level 2, and wow, Asokii realizing there's a gap in between. They're gonna take their turn right back into their own level 2.
Spent it all, but it was worth it. You do not want to be playing with that last hit situation.
It was so close for Wimplo, right? It seemed like all within their grasp, but that is the X factor of Ken.
Absolutely, and that's that reward of Manon. You have to make those guesses eventually, because if you just try to play raw neutral against Ken, eventually he's going to chip you down and you're going to lose. He's going to get you with a Jinrai, and it's just over. So the onus is perpetually on Wimplo in those scenarios to guess right.
Okay, here we go. Throw the fireball. Make sure we respect the space. For a whip punish potentially.
Such a cautious poke game from Wimplo, and Asokii is able to take advantage of it at that mid-range spacing I was talking about at the beginning of this match, where Wimplo can't really afford to throw out those laggy neutral moves.
Yeah, we can definitely see like the differences in playstyle too, just how much slower Wimplo likes to play until finding their mark.
Get that one
When they
overhead.
smell blood in the water, you know you're getting grabbed.
I see 5 medals. Asokii, we've been down this road before. Once again, should you choose to accept. Oh,
but it was
lock.
a true string, which means it did not get splatted, but you still have to chill with the Jinrai into the level 3.
And that's going to be it. Wimplo in shambles.
Yeah, I mean, Jinrai is such a hard thing to deal with, to be honest.
Is.
Like, especially when you've dealt with so many other moves, right, neutral.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, great stuff to fight that hard, get that close. Got even the 5 medals at the end. The intimidation was absolutely there, but that time around, Asokii found his opening and closed it out before Wimplo had the opportunity to let things get out of hand.
Yeah, it's hard to not panic sometimes against Ken, especially. But, you know, Wimplo did a great job, kept it pretty competitive. But we'll be going down to losers to see if they can make it all the way back up, make that climb.
Yes, we have. But while we've been talking about that, our winner's side bracket has been filling out. I'm looking at our winner's semis of pools here. With that, Asokii is going to be up against 2 Easy, the Mortal Kombat player.